Hello everybody and welcome to the tour of my newly updated Minneapolis St. Paul International Airport. This is not going to be a regular airport update, this will just be a tour of everything, all the new changes, and the airport in general. Of course, MSP has its two terminals, Terminal 1, which is all of this massive terminal here, and Terminal 2, which is this tiny one right here. And we'll be going over all of the airlines that fly here, all the changes and all of that. So I guess we'll get into that. So we'll start over here on this side where we have runway 30 right, and we also have a C-130 landing over there as we do its C-130s here. But first off here we have Concourse A, and that is all of these gates right here. So we have 6 gates. That is down 1 from previously when I had 7 there. But this concourse, these first 2 concourses don't really matter in the modern day MSP. They're rarely used. Like this is only used for the CRJs, but still you don't really see them parked too often here. So in reality there are 14 gates here. But we have 6 represented, but except for like these 2 gates in the end and maybe these 2 gates here, like these 2 probably won't be used too much. And it seemed to be gravitating more and more to the C concourse, which we'll get into in a bit. But this is only Delta connection, so that's pretty much all that I have here. We have my CRJ 900 for the Gemini Jet version, the Aero Classic, and then a retro Delta CR2, or that's a CR1 actually, for Comair. And then we also have a Northwest CRJ 200 here for the retro stuff. And we have 2 more Delta CR2s there. But that's pretty much all you got going on here at Concourse A. Not too much happening here in real life, so but this is pretty accurate if you just expanded it a bit to, you know, what the real MSP is. There's a little bit, it does get a little bit wider like over here, but it is pretty thin throughout. But yeah, it's kind of, it was definitely used back more in the Northwest days. Also with Concourse B here. Delta pretty much never uses Concourse B. It's pretty much just a massive concourse, not really super massive, but it's like 10, 11, 12 gates or whatever. Just for Denver Air Connection, they're the only airline that still flies into this concourse. They fly EIS services from Thief River Falls and Ironwood, Michigan. But other than that, it's pretty much an abandoned concourse, which is very interesting. So I have some Northwest Airlink aircraft set up here, the Short 360 and the BAE 146. But this concourse is pretty irrelevant today, aside from the Dorniers from Denver Air Connection. And then over here we have, this is the C concourse. This one is a very big one. This one in reality is 26 gates, and I only have 8 represented here. So in reality, this stretches like way down there. In like Concourse G ends kind of in the middle of Concourse C. So this is not really accurate to, you know, what this would be. But I wanted to try to maximize as many gates as I could and try to get it semi-realistic. So we did add 3 more gates to the C concourse than the previous airport, which definitely does improve things over here, because I pretty much always had just a packed C concourse and didn't really nowhere else to add anything else. So this is definitely a lot better. But they still park a lot of RJs here, so we have a CRJ 900 and 2 CR7s and an E170. And then we have the Northwest DC-9 right here. We have the WestJet. This is one of our new airlines. WestJet and their 737s, they park here in the C concourse, which is very fun. And we also have Delta, of course. It's only Delta and WestJet that use this concourse. And then sometimes, like, I've flown like very late at night. If, you know, all the United gates or all the American gates are full, sometimes you'll see their aircraft park here. Same thing goes with the D concourse and the F concourse. Speaking of which, here is, well, actually before we move on, we should discuss this, this is the Concourse C tram people mover. This goes from the main terminal over here, and then it runs along here through the C concourse. There's a stop right in about there, and then it ends pretty much when Concourse A begins. Oh, that's a pretty cool thing. Fortunately, it is not like airside. Well, it is airside, as in you have to go through security like to get on it, but it doesn't show. You can't look out of it and see airside. It only shows over the road, um, which doesn't provide the best views. It's not like Skylink or anything. That train is amazing. Stay tuned for more spotting videos from DFW. Then this is Concourse D. It's a tiny concourse. It just kind of jets out from the terminal a little bit. Not that like dramatically, but it just kind of comes out a little bit. And there are 6 gates there or something like that. Like one of them's not even used, so it's really only 5 gates. And I put this is Delta 5. There are only 4 gates because I took out. There's one that they don't use. It's like right here, and I just didn't bother to put it in there because it wouldn't realistically fit between these two. So we just left it blank. So we have Delta 2 through Delta 5 right here, and this one is only used by Delta. So that's what we see right here. Now Concourse E. E stands for everyone else, because this is where all the non SkyTeam airlines park at Terminal 1. So we have Alaska at Echo 1, Air Canada Echo 3. United is Echo 5 through 10. Then American is Echo, yeah, I guess they're Echo 11 through 16. I did have to shrink it a bit. This was the closest that I could get to like an actual size, because we have 14 gates here and there are 16 in real life. So Echo 9 is actually used by United, but we have American CR2 there, and it's as close as we could get here. And then we also have Spirit over here at Echo 2 and 4. But this is pretty much how this terminal would look if we packed every single plane, every single airline that flew here in here. So that's pretty much it here for the Concourse. There is a really cool thing on the inside, like right about here-ish. It's called Food Truck Alley. And they just bring in like a bunch of local restaurants and put them on like non-moving food trucks to give the illusion of like food trucks. And I don't know, I've been through there. I haven't eaten from it, but it's definitely something that I'd like to do. Maybe I'll do it before going to Europe, because we will be flying out of the Concourse on United, so that's very exciting. Probably going to be out of either Echo 6 or Echo 8. Could be at Echo 7 as well. We'll be on an E175, and it seems to be like Echo 8 can really only fit the E175, because you can see it's kind of in this wonky angle in here. But you know, it gets the job done. This is the E Concourse. Next up is the F Concourse, and this is only Delta. And well, we also snuck in the Northwest plane in there. But this is just Delta mainline. Nothing too special here, but this is also where we have some international flights that fly out of here. And I don't really think there are any that fly in, but I don't think there are customs attached to these gates. But this is also where the flights to Honolulu depart from. And there's only 767 flights, so I have that model there for literally one flight, which is kind of stupid. But you know, I wish Delta had some more you know, international destinations from MSP, because there's a lot of Canada and there's a bit of Mexico. But like they used to have Frankfurt, and they no longer do Frankfurt Condor. I mean, we still have Condor on Frankfurt, but we have no more Aer Lingus. It's still listed as an airline, but they don't fly here anymore. So I'm assuming Aer Lingus is probably gone for good, even though they were only here for like a year, and then COVID happened, and then they were out, which is really weird. But we did have Aer Lingus for a bit, and that didn't last very long. But Delta has not started service to Dublin, which they were expected to. They never did. But we do have service on Delta to Seoul, Tokyo, Amsterdam, and London and Paris. So they definitely declined. I mean, especially since the Northwest days. Northwest had a ton of destinations from here. I mean, we're gonna see their world plane later here. Check that out right now. I mean, look at all the destinations that they used to have. Look at all that. Not all of those from MSP, of course, but you know, it's still less than the Northwest days. And we also we used to get Air France, and then they just decided not to serve MSP for this. They were only summer seasonal, and they just decided not to serve MSP this summer. So I don't know what's happening with that, but they'll be back next summer on the A350. So that's a model that I have to buy, but that's not a big deal. But I'll be glad to see Air France back once they resume, which hopefully they keep their word and do, unlike Aer Lingus. But now we'll move over here to G Concourse. This is where all of the wide body stuff. And in reality, there are two narrow body gates, G1 and G2 right here, but we kind of forgot about those because I wanted to make as many space. I did add another wide body gate right here where this Northwest 747 is. That is a new wide body gate, so now we have 4 here, which is good to have because I mean, in the summer season, Delta does ramp up how many international, transatlantic, transpacific, you know, all the wide body flights. They do ramp them up in the summer, so I can fill all of these gates, which is good now, because in the past I've had, like, since I used to have only 3, there were times that I didn't have enough space to fit all of them. But I still probably do need to get another Delta A330 at some point, either the 900neo or the 330-300. We're getting more 330-300s, but you know, there's going to be replaced by the neo. I just realized that this jet bridge broke, so I'll have to fix that. But yes, for here we get KLM and then Delta's international flights, and all these gates are connected. Actually, all of these are connected to customs and border protection and all that. Actually, this one may not be. I'm not sure, but this is one of their new things. So currently there's like construction right here, so this gate I probably won't use for the foreseeable future. Maybe not this one either. Well, actually I will use this one because we do have this hybrid gate. This is one of their new additions. So it's Gulf 9 I don't know about that actually. But they did just add like a new, I don't think it's Gulf 9, I think it's like Gulf 13 Whiskey or something like that. But they did add new like hybrid wide body gates in here, which is really nice. So I did add one of those, and they'll probably add like another one in here, which I don't know how it fit that, but if it happens again over here in this gate, I might have to redo because, like I said, this whole area is under construction, and so I imagine that they might connect these up because there used to be 4 different islands here, and then they connected 2 up over here. So they might do the same over here and connect those, but I'm not entirely sure. But I did get to see all that action that was going on last time I visited MSP, so this gate might not be used at all in these airport updates, and it might be replaced once that gets finished. I can see what they have done, but that is kind of the situation with that. Then we also have a bunch of narrow body gates as well. I mean, we got all of our 321s here are 2 regular 321s and the 321neo, A220, 757. I mean, they use these gates a lot. They use those gates a lot. It's definitely the C Concourse and the G Concourse are probably the ones that are most used by Delta, at least the ones that I have most of my aircraft in the airport updates. I don't know if that's like true. They probably are the ones that are most. It's definitely the C Concourse, but it's a weird airport. And then here we have 12 right and 30 left, or we have our Northwest cargo 742 right there. And here is Terminal 2. This serves Southwest, Allegiant, Frontier, JetBlue, Icelandair, Condor, and Sun Country, and Redway. They're a brand new airline that I haven't even included in an airport update yet, which I will get around to eventually. Redway just started service this past month in June. June 16th, I believe, is their first flight. And they serve Lincoln, Nebraska. They're a public charter airline, which is pretty interesting. How they expect to fill A320s from Lincoln to here consistently, well, twice a week, is beyond me, but I guess they'll get it done somehow. They use Global X aircraft, and that means I don't have a model for them, and I don't really know. There isn't a Global X model out there, so hopefully someone will release one. I don't really anticipate it, but if someone does, I will definitely be picking it up to use as that aircraft. But so here we have these gates. This one will always be a Southwest gate probably. This one could flip-flop between JetBlue, Allegiant, whatever I need, but pretty much these two, since Southwest has 4 gates here at Terminal 2, and we have 7 gates here, so those are pretty much the Southwest gates. This one will be pretty much common use. You'll see JetBlue, Frontier, Allegiant, Condor parked there, and then here, this is the Icelandair Hecla Aurora 752. You'll see Condor there, Icelandair, Sun Country. You also probably see Sun Country here, maybe even here if there's a lot of Sun Country aircraft in an update. But these 3 gates here will always be Sun Country. And then we have also 2 more Sun Country lanes taxiing around. I always seem like I need more Sun Country aircraft, but we have a good amount now. Actually, don't even know how many Sun Country models I have. I guess 6, and then the DC-10, but that doesn't really count. But now we move into the cargo stuff. This is the main cargo apron is what it's called, and sometimes they also taxi aircraft from Terminal 2 through here, which is really fun. I actually experienced that and got real up close and personal to a UPS A300. But here we have my 2 UPS aircraft, the 767 and the MD-11, looking beautiful right here. And here is the FedEx side, and I have my MD-11 here, and they also do services on Mountain Air Cargo to Duluth, so that's why the ATR is there. Probably do need to get some more FedEx aircraft. They fly in quite a few 767s. That's pretty much mostly what they fly in here, so. They have started flying the MD-11s though. They weren't for the longest time, and I was hoping that they would because I have this model and I haven't used it really in a realistic connotation, but here it is. They are flying the MD-11s now, so now I have the MD-11 for FedEx and UPS, which is awesome because that's a gorgeous aircraft. And now these 2 gates, these are not actually here in real life. I put these here because there is another cargo apron, the South Cargo Apron I believe it's called. And that's where Prime Air and DHL and all the other miscellaneous cargo airlines park whenever they're in here. And I didn't really have a place to park these aircraft, so I made these 2 stands here. They're not realistic, but it will get the job done because I don't really know where else to put these guys. So it's not realistic, but it works. And didn't really have anything better to put there, so I figured why not just put it next to the FedEx spots. And if you ever go spotting at MSP, this is a pretty common spot. This is kind of what represents the airport viewing area. There is a road that goes in here, and it's to serve like the FedEx and UPS buildings, but then you can kind of spot and see over. And there is another taxi right here. There's a whole other runway that is separating Terminal 2 with the cargo apron. And you go through here and like go behind there, but I don't have the space to put that in, obviously. So this is the best we could do. And I guess speaking of going back here, we do have the control tower here. And this is also not really realistic where this would be way off the table, but I wanted to put it in here just because it's nice. And I think I might also put that Northwest DC-9 over here because they use a former Northwest DC-9 as fire training, and it's kind of by the tower, not really. So it wouldn't really be super realistic to put it here, but I might do it just to add some aesthetic. And then I guess finally, I should have mentioned this when we were back over here, but I did add these de-icing stands. There used to be a hanger over here, but I decided to remove that, and in favor put in these are de-icing stands, which don't really fit on the table. As you can see, that kind of goes off the end there, but we have these 2 United 752s here, which wouldn't be here in real life, obviously, but they get the job done. So yeah, that's pretty much it here for the airport. I hope you enjoy it. I think it looks a lot better. We added 5 new gates, and we did remove some gates from Concourse B and Concourse A, but we added them in D, C, E, F, and G. So we did add plenty in the places where they're most needed, because A and B, they don't really matter right now. It is the other concourses that are definitely getting a lot more of the action and are more of the emphasis in the airport updates. So it is okay if we sacrifice those a bit for the sake of putting more where more is, if that makes sense. that'll do it here for this quick tour. Hopefully you got a little bit better understanding. I guess also, I should mention, I need to find the vehicle to put in here, but this will be our light rail station, because light rail, it goes in a tunnel under Terminal 1, but it services over by Terminal 2. And there's the station right here, and I can probably fit in I have a little like subway car, so I might put that in there if I can find it. I don't even know where I put it, so that'll be something I'll have to dig up. And there are things I'll probably add to this airport that you might have already seen in the airport update that it came out yesterday. But this is the airport, so hopefully you enjoy it. You'll be seeing it probably for a while. I don't intend on doing this project again for a while, so this is going to be the airport for the time being. So hopefully you enjoy it. I try to do the best with the space that I have, and I think it looks alright. So this is the airport. So thank you for watching the video, checking this one out, and I will see you tomorrow. As always, good night. Auf Wiedersehen.